Hello there, thanks a lot for joining us on The Sweet Spot. It's Bruce Millington and Steve Palmer. We're going to look ahead to the second US PGA tournament of the year. It's the Sony Open in Hawaii. There's also a little event down in Australia that features one of Steve's favourite players. He's very short. We'll see if Steve is going to pin his faith in him. First of all, though, we'll look back on last week. And before we do that, Steve, how are you? How is 2022 treating you? What would you give it out of 10?
I'd give it about 7.5. Yeah. I'm feeling very jaded. I mean, those Hawaii events are quite grueling. 3 a.m. finishes followed by a 1 a.m. finish. I mean, mercifully early finish on the Sunday. It was tough going. But fortunately, Patrick Cantlay got a full place for us, which made it all worthwhile in a way. Yeah, he just held his birdie par in the final hole to finish alone in 4th place.
Absolutely. I thought you were going to say it was grueling because you've been on your fitness regime. Are you sticking to that?
That hasn't started yet. There was a delay in getting these trainers coming through the post. They only arrived yesterday morning, not found the time yet.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I'm sure that will happen. Jolly good. Well, 7.5 is not a bad score, is it? Okay, let's look back on the Tournament of Champions. Then it turned into Cam v Ram, didn't it? And Cam, the young Australian, he showed nerves of steel to get the job done. It was a good victory, wasn't it, Steve? I mean, it was you wouldn't call it the most thrilling tournament of the year, but I guess the lesson is, or the question I've got for you really is, has Cam Smith now kind of joined that very top table, or does he still have a little way to go, do you think?
34 under par, hugely impressive scoring. I know they had preferred lies for the first 2 rounds, but yeah, we were on the right lines last week. We were looking for a short game master. It's going to be a really low scoring week, and we want a short game master. I mean, Cameron Smith fits into that category emphatically, doesn't he? His putting is awesome. He just hoovers up everything on the greens. But I thought the most interesting aspect of last week was how good his driving was. He said in his media conference after the victory that he'd been working on his driving, seems to have added some distance. He was playing with Jon Rahm for the entire weekend. He was out driving Jon Rahm regularly. Smith averaged 320 yards off the tee in the final round. So he seems to have become the complete player now. He's just got into the top 10 of the world rankings. So, I'm a big Cameron Smith fan. We're on him for his previous event, the RSM Classic, Such Is Life. We need to keep him in our thoughts going forward.
I mean, what can he be spoken of now in terms of Rahm and Thomas and Cantlay and Schauffele and Rory and all those other top guns?
I don't know. I mean, I always thought he was a bit powder puff off the tee, but there he was. He's 320 yards off the tee on Sunday. You know, if he's added driving distance in the close season, he becomes almost weakness free. So he's world number 10. Give him respect. I think the big lesson we learned last week, apart from the fact that Cameron Smith may have become a much better driver, is that rust can be overplayed. You know, everyone's getting their knickers in a twist about rust last week, weren't they? You know, Patrick Cantlay hadn't played for 3 months. You know, he spent 2 weeks practicing at Kapalua with his coach Jamie Mulligan, came out hitting the ball superbly. It was actually his short game which let him down last week. Jon Rahm hadn't teed up since the middle of October, came out, brilliant all-round performance from Jon Rahm. And then the winner, Cameron Smith, said he spent most of his Christmas holidays fishing. You know,
wow.
So all this idea that rusty players, he spends all Christmas fishing, then comes out and shoots 34 under par. So I think going forward, as I know you love saying, we need to not get so worked up about possible rust.
No, that's. I mean, the thing is as well, Steve, that they can always just go and play on a golf course in non-tournament conditions. It's like in horse racing when people say, "Oh, he hasn't had a race for ages." Well, I mean, they've got gallops at home. They just gallop the things, don't they, and get them fit.
That's exactly right. Yeah. People make a big deal about having a pencil in your hand, but Patrick Cantlay, I thought, proved it last week. 3 months off. His coach said, we must make a note of this. His coach Jamie Mulligan said those 2 weeks at Kapalua, he's never seen Patrick Cantlay hit the ball better. So it seemed like it really refreshed Patrick Cantlay. He said in the past that all the time off he's had in the past has been because of injury or illness. He's forced time off. He said it was the first time in his whole career where he's had chosen to spend time on the sidelines, and he's come back feeling fantastic. So Patrick Cantlay could be in for a massive season. Jon Rahm, we've got to be very excited about our majors ACCA. I assume that's got odds on now. I mean, the way Jon Rahm was hitting it, I mean, his approach play was fantastic. So that really bodes well for Augusta. So we learned a fair deal last week. We were going into it with we weren't overly bullish last week, were we? But I think it worked out quite well because Patrick Cantlay did the bit. We suspected he would knuckle down, and he did. Patrick Reed's got new clubs, PXG clubs. Very annoying announcement came late on that. So he was adjusting to new clubs, 74 opening round. and caught up. But yeah, we learnt a lot and we moved forward with confidence.
Okay, it was a peculiar week for Justin Thomas, wasn't it? I think they call it a curate's egg. I've never known what a curate's egg is. I must find out. But he was lagging behind for 36 holes and then went bananas on the Saturday, didn't he? Was he 13 under on the Saturday or something? It was ridiculous.
He shot 74 opening round, same as Patrick Reed, and then he shot 61 on that amazing Saturday where then John Rahm followed him with a 61. Yeah, it was the lowest score in tournament in history. I mean, some conjecture of whether it counts or not because 2 rounds of preferred lies. Probably Ernie Els' record of 31 under should probably still stand. But yeah, it was a fun week, and we've got a very contrasting golf course this week in many respects.
Okay, well, just quickly before we do look ahead to this week, Steve, was there any other player that you thought who went up or down in your estimations?
Smith went up, Cantlay actually went up. Patrick Reed, I'm going to have a little bit of caution on him as he adjusts to these new clubs. So we were disappointed to be on Patrick Reed when we found out about that, but
no harm done.
No harm done.
Excellent. Okay, then, right, let's look ahead to this week's tournament. We're still in Hawaii, but I believe it is a very different course. Steve will tell us all about that. It's the Sony Open. Last week, 38 or 36 runners, an invitation event. This is your standard massive field 4-round stroke play event. Let's have a look at the betting. So Cameron Smith, fresh from last week's triumph, is 11-1 to follow up. And then we've got Webb Simpson at 16, Sunjae Im at 16, Matsuyama 18, Leishman 20, Corey Connors 25, Kevin Na 30, 35 bar. Shop around for best prices, best place terms. But that gives you an indication. It's a kind of category B tournament, I suppose, isn't it? Steve, tell us all about the course and then we'll find out who you fancy.
It's Waialae Country Club, Honolulu, Hawaii, 7,044 yards, par 70, only 2 par 5s, much tighter fairways than last week, much flatter terrain than last week, but the same type of turf and the same weather conditions. It's going to be calm all week. The course will play soft and easy. 34 under par last week. I think you're going to need to get to 20 under par to have a winning chance this week.
Okay, thank you very much. How many selections?
3 selections.
Okay, let's start with the strongest fancy.
Strongest fancy is Mark Leishman at 20-1 now. His best mate on the tour, Cameron Smith, just won the Sentry. I think it's Leishman's turn to shine this week. The Aussies have got this habit of winning in bunches. They seem to inspire each other. Leishman's last PGA Tour win was alongside Cameron Smith in the Zurich Classic Pairs event last year. Leishman has won 4 times on the PGA Tour as an individual. 6th victory, probably not far away, given the form he's been showing. He was 4th in the Fortinet Championship in September, 3rd in the Shriners Open in October, 3rd in the QB Shootout alongside Jason Day just before Christmas. And then last week he was 10th in the Sentry, 4 rounds in the 60s, really tidy warm-up for the Sony. Leishman's been putting superbly. I think you're going to need a low score this week. No worries on that score with Leishman. And his Waialae record is good, solid. It's a tough
Are you
one to
sure
say
that's how you say it?
I
You
love
sound
saying
like
it
a
like
Geordie sort of telling, trying to urge Newcastle on. Come on, lads, Waialae or something. I don't know. It just sounds like one of the mad things that Geordies say. I don't know.
Yeah, they do like saying that, don't they? And I like saying that because of that. I mean, Waialae, Hawaii. It's a great location. It's a great location. But he's made 12 previous appearances there. Never finished worse than 47th place. 7 top 20s, 3 top 5s. I think it's time for Leishman to win the Sony. I think he's going to be celebrating with a few Leishman lagers on Sunday night. He's got his own brand of lager.
Has he really?
Yeah, I might try and get some off the internet. I think you can get it online. We'll get some Leishman lagers in stock for Sunday.
Wow. He seems like an amiable chap. I don't really know too much about Mark Leishman. The thing I would say about him is that he always seems to figure on leaderboards, but not in a kind of bottly way, but never quite gets it done. Obviously, he has got 4 wins, as you say, but he's a good each way sort of solid operator. Do you think he'd be a nice guy? Would you like to have a tincture with Mark Leishman?
Yes, I think he's a really nice guy. And as you know, I don't like backing nice guys. I like backing nasty guys. But you can't quibble with Mark Leishman's record now. Yeah, it's 5 PGA Tour wins as an individual, 38 years of age. Yeah, I mean, I'd like him to be a bit nastier, a bit at the business end. But he's a nice guy who's winning, and they should be applauded. They should be celebrated. Celebrate them.
Very much so. Okay, Mark Leishman is the headline selection. Who's the main danger?
The next best is Sunjae Im at 16-1. I was close to having him last week. I'm glad I didn't in the end. He tied for 8th place, but he looked very sharp in all departments. That's form figures of 5'8" at Kapalua and the other Hawaii event. He's had 3 previous spins at Waialae, 16, 21, 56, steady but unspectacular. This time, I think the swing and confidence levels are where they need to be for him to make a real go at winning the Sony Open. Last October, the October just gone, he won the Shriners Open by 4 shots. You must remember that. I like tapping into the infamous Millington memory bank. Did you watch Sung Jo Im win that? We were on Matt Wolf, so we were very disappointed with how well Sung Jo Im was performing. He was like a robot. He was like fairway, green, putt, fairway.
You dedicate your life to golf, and like there's very little else goes on in your life, so everything that happens in golf is your life. But I've got there's loads of stuff going. I just can't.
Fair enough.
I can probably remember about 3 things that happened in golf last year. So I certainly don't remember that. But
well, I'm sorry you don't remember that, because it was an absolute masterclass. It was a final round 62 to destroy the Shriners Open field. Sung Jo Im, he's been around so long now. He's only 23 years of age. He's still improving.
Really?
23.
Can't
still
be 23.
It's remarkable, isn't it? He's clearly capable of improving further and becoming a top 10 in the world player. Great all round.
Do you know what? Maddie, obviously Maddie Playle, our colleague who does the racing postcast, she was 24 this week. And I thought, blimey, they grow up so fast, don't they? Sung Jo Im is younger than Maddie Playle. That's incredible.
Yeah. It's incredible, isn't it? Yeah. The Maddie Moat, Maddie Moat, you don't watch children's TV now, do you? Maddie Moat is one of my favourites. Yeah. Any dads out there, if you're watching children's TV with your children, as you would, when Maddie Moat comes on, she's an absolute queen.
Is that an eponymous show, or is she part of another show?
It's called Do You Know? And like, she teaches you all these things about the world. She's really looks into things like, goes to like a recycling centre and teaches you through it.
Wow, that's excellent.
I've got a bit of a crush on Maddie Moat, to be honest with you.
Wow.
But we mustn't talk about that. Let's get back to Sung Jo Im, who I haven't got a crush on. I definitely haven't got a crush on Sung Jo Im. But he's got no weaknesses. That's what we were getting at. No technical weaknesses. He's finished top 20 in his last 4 tournaments. I think we could easily see a 3rd PGA Tour title for Sung Jo on Sunday. He's on his Bermuda greens. He loves putting on Bermuda greens. So they're my 2 main bets.
He's Mr. Consistency, isn't he, Sung Jo Im?
He is. He's Mr. Consistency temperament-wise. We were talking about before we were coming on. We were having a few technical problems, weren't we? And I certainly go up and down. You have the ability to go up and down. Producer Will, very much like Sung Jo Im. Producer Will never really gets flustered. Sung Jo Im just stays at that level, which is great for golf.
Yeah, it certainly is. Okay, 3rd selection.
3rd selection is a 300 to 1 chance, and much bigger on the exchanges. Brandon Wu, one of my favourites. Nothing in the recent form book to suggest he's winning this, hence the massive odds. But this is a class act full of potential. He was ranked 5th in the world amateur rankings before he turned pro. He won the Corn Ferry Tour Championship in 2020. That's the biggest event of the Corn Ferry Tour. He won that 2 years ago. I think PGA Tour success will come, and I think it will come on a short course like Waialae. Brandon Wu is not like your typical modern youngster. He's not a bomber. He's not a flashy player. But when he's on his game, he's very accurate. He's a great putter. I think he'll take a shine to Waialae. His best finish of this season came in the Bermuda Championship. Similar assignment to this, short track, island golf. His best PGA Tour finish ever came with 7th place in last year's Puerto Rico Open. Similar assignment to this, island golf. I think Brandon Wu's time will come, and we could get him at a massive price here. He's good mates with Colin Morikawa. They're both 24-year-old Californians, grew up playing together, play the game in a similar fashion, actually. Morikawa's obviously made this blistering start to his PGA Tour career. I think Wu will get there eventually.
And that's WU, isn't it?
WU, yeah, there are actually 2 Wus in this, so be careful. Dylan Wu's playing as well, I think. B Wu.
Okay,
yeah,
excellent.
Won't use much ink on you if you're a betting shop punter. You won't use much ink here, will you? Sung Jo Im and S Im and B Wu.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good point. If replica golf shirts ever came in and you had the golfer's name on the back, you got people like Im and Na and Wu would save you a fortune on the lettering, wouldn't they? Who'd be the longest one? Who'd be the longest? What's the longest? Oh, Von Dellinghausen.
Yeah,
called that?
Does he beat Jazz Janawatanon? Yeah, it'd be close between those 2, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah. It cost you a fortune, wouldn't they? You'd have to have broad shoulders as well. A puny bloke like me, they'd have to sort of start the J of Jazz Watton on there and like go right through to there, wouldn't they?
It's a great idea. You should launch that. Go on Dragon's Den and launch that one. I'd buy some golf shirts with names on.
Hello there. Yeah, I've my pitch is this. Yeah, I want to start replica golf shirts, and basically you take the shirt and then I iron on the lettering. Do you think I'd get a bid?
I want £2 million for 0.1%
Yeah.
of the company.
I don't think that would work. No,
he's an arrogant squirt, that Peter. What's his face in here? I watched
Peter Jones.
There's a new series started.
Yeah, I love the new Dragon, don't you? The young lad with all the bling.
Yeah.
He's tremendous, isn't he? Lovely fella.
He's got some spunk, hasn't he?
He has.
He wound up Tuka. What's his face straight away, didn't he?
Yes, that was excellent. And we've also got the new Apprentice. Do you like the Apprentice?
I didn't go to that. I'll switch to the golf by the
way.
Oh, it's brilliant. Hawaii starts give you a chance to actually live normal life for a bit until you go to the golf.
Yeah, you should try normal life. It's good. I thoroughly recommend it. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's it for that event, isn't it, Steve? I did just want to ask you one quick thing, Steve. I was thinking about this year having level stakes bets, religiously every tournament on Kevin Na. What do you think of that idea?
Yeah.
Just because he wins so often.
Yeah. Have you missed the boat though? I mean, I like backing players that are progressive and they've got their best still to come. Has Kevin Na got his best still to come? I'm not so sure. Injury prone, you might get a few WDs when you're on him. I don't want to recommend you doing that, to be perfectly fair and frank.
Okay. But I am still going to do it.
No, that's fine. I'm not your mum. I'm not your mum. I can't tell you what to do.
I wouldn't do it if my mum told me not to. That's how I roll.
You should respect your mother more.
Is there anyone else you want to talk about?
Well, I think it'd be remiss of us to not talk about Cameron Smith, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, of course it would.
So yeah, I mean Cameron Smith, I think is actually a fair price. There's two firms that are holding that 11-1, while every other bookmaker goes single figures. So there's two bookies that are looking to take him on at 11-1. I think probably a fair price. Really, it's difficult to see him playing badly. The course suits him really well. Early Els and Justin Thomas have done the Hawaii double in the past, but Els won his Sentry Tournament of Champions by 8 shots. Thomas won his Sentry Tournament of Champions by 3 shots. Smith, different kettle of fish, really, much more of a battle. Went up against the world number 1 all weekend, only won by 1 shot. He said he was drained afterwards. So that's my reasons for leaving Smith alone. If you want some more bets, I mean, we haven't got many in the staking plan there. Yeah, Kevin Kisner's a regular Sony contender, played well on far less suitable terrain last week. You could make a case for Kevin Kisner very easily. Cameron Davies had a strong weekend in the Sentry, classy Aussie youngster. Hideki Matsuyama, decent Sentry warm-up. You basically want to be backing players that played in the Sentry, I think. 16 of the last 23 winners of the Sony played in the Sentry the previous week.
Oh, that's a good stat. That's a very good stat. Okay. Lovely. Shall we move on?
I think we should, because we've got another tournament this week.
We have. It's not a European Tour event. When's the European Tour start?
Next week.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, we'll tell you exactly what's happening at the end of the show. But we've got the Australian PGA and one of Steve's favourite players, Min Woo Lee, is favourite. He's round about 11-2. I must admit, I've heard of some of the people in this field, but I haven't heard of any of the next 4 in the bet. We've got someone called Jack Thompson at 12-1, someone called Blake Windred at 16-1, and then it's 20 bar. So there is a major winner in this lineup. Do you know who that is, Steve?
Oh, blimey. Well, I certainly haven't tipped him. I wouldn't have got that far down. No, go on, put me out my misery.
Jeff Ogilvy.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Jeff, how old is he now? I mean,
Peter Senior. No, not Peter Senior. Peter Lonard is in this as well. Yeah. There's some real blasts from the past, isn't there?
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to this. I mean, it's on the telly. All credit to Sky Sports. I was pleased. Yeah, I pay a fortune for me Sky Sports. But yeah, they started the Hawaii stuff nice and early last week. As we were saying, and this week they're covering the Australian PGA 3:30 a.m. You can get up and you can watch Peter Lonard.
I don't think you should, Steve. It's too disruptive. You're weary already, and it's only week 1. I think you should.
Yeah, but
maybe just wake up in time to enjoy the last knockings.
I'm hungry. I got desire. I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling passionate about the golf betting at the moment. I'm really, really excited for the year ahead. Yeah, no, I will be up. I'm just pushing the envelope, as they say.
All right, then. Well, whereabouts in Australia is this taking place?
We're at Royal Queensland, Brisbane, 7,112 yards, par 71. There's been a golf course here since 1920, but the Queensland government decided to build a massive bridge over it in 2005. So that essentially meant the track had to be ripped up and had to start again. And Mike Clayton was brought in to design a new track and that was not affected by this bridge. And it's opened in 2007. So we've only had it since 2007. Fairly wide fairways, no rough. Some bunkers in the middle of fairways, though. It's a positional course off the tee. Lots of different routes you can take to the hole. The green's very well protected by bunkers, tricky dance floors, no wind forecast, sunny and calm conditions throughout.
Right then, you love Minwoo Lee, but 11-2, is he too short, or are you going to get involved?
He's too short. He's too short. I mean, I love Minwoo Lee. I think I love Minwoo Lee more than his mother loves Minwoo Lee. He opened up at 5-1, and I just thought this isn't going to work out for me. Minwoo Lee would probably admit to you that his weakness is putting. You know, his putter can go cold for a round or two. His ball striking is his strength. His putting is his weakness. You're not going to be able to putt badly and win this event. As I say, the weather is set fair. It's going to be very low scoring. I can't pile in at around 5-1, 11-2 in a shootout like this is going to be. There's a handful of players that are well capable of beating him. So yeah, I've got to take my chance with the bigger prices.
Okay, how many tips have we got here?
We got 3.
Okay, lead on.
Number 1 selection is Elvis Smiley.
You've tipped him before, haven't you?
We tipped him before, and we tipped him at a huge price in the European Tour event. But you know, we're tipping him at 35-1 in an event. He's got a great chance of winning. We've already talked about the possibility of Mark Leishman being inspired by Cameron Smith. The same applies to Elvis Smiley. Smith and Smiley are both Queenslanders. Smith has been happy to be a sounding board for Smiley as he starts his career, and to the extent that in 2019, Smiley actually went over to Jacksonville in Florida and stayed at Smith's house for a week discussing how he's going to get onto the PGA Tour. Smiley's only 17 years of age at that point.
Goodness
yeah.
Me. That was then, yeah.
That was then. He's only 19 now, but you know, everyone in Australian golfing circles has basically been accepting that this Elvis Smiley is going to be the king. Yeah, he's going to be the king.
Yeah.
He's going to take over the world of golf. Cameron Smith has been keen to help him along. He went over and spent a week with him in Jacksonville. They played a bit of golf at the concession. Yeah, they're great mates. So I think there's an inspiration factor of what Cameron Smith did last week, but that's only a minor reason for fancying him. Last year on the Australasian Tour, he got 2 second places and he got 1 third place. So he's already been threatening victory on his home circuit. This week he's playing a course very close to home. He knows it better than most of the field. He was quarter-finalist in the 2020 Australian Amateur Championship at Royal Queensland. We haven't got hardly any course form to go on. That's an event that was played there, and he played well. And another huge positive. This is so exciting. I can't get over this, really. Mike Clayton, the aforementioned Mike Clayton, who's designed this course, is caddying. He's caddying. Elvis Smiley's caddy.
That's not fair.
It's not fair.
That's like being in a race to get out of Hampton Court Maze with the bloke who designed the maze, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, because this course is a lot of strategy to this course. As I said, there's different lines to take off the tee. There's different angles. You've got to have the right angles into these greens.
Yeah.
And what better man to have than Mike Clayton on there? Yeah, as you say, it's just not fair. I mean, Elvis Smiley's only 19. He's young. He may not be ready. He may not be ready for this. But at 35-1, I'm taking the blimmin' chance.
Blimey, so he certainly won't be lonesome tonight with Mike Carlton on his bag. Well, who's sub-editing your stuff tomorrow? Because we need a good headline. If you're tipping someone called Elvis, that's a headline writer's dream, isn't it?
It's true. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll find out.
I do hope we have a good one. We need a good. Demand it, Les. Don't let someone like Elvis looks good value at 35-1 or anything. Like, we need a really good Elvis pun. Okay?
Oh no, we'll work on that. No, he's a really exciting player with a great name, and nice. Seems a nice lad. Yeah, he
needs to be. If you're called Smiley, I mean, like, you can't be dour, can you? You can't stomp around the fairways. Like, who's a miserable golfer? Brooks Koepka. He's miserable.
Oh yeah. Is
he the most miserable looking golfer? Just trying to think.
Probably, yeah. Well, Colin Montgomery used to be, didn't he? Monty's side.
Yeah, if he was called Colin Smiley, that wouldn't have worked, would it?
No, it wouldn't. I don't know whether Elvis could sing, but yeah, hopefully we'll find out when he's got a trophy and these are exciting times. It's the Australian golf. Those players you were mentioning at the start there, Australian golf's in a good place. You know, Jack Thompson's another good youngster. Blake Windred. Yeah, I think Australians, they always do. It's the weather, isn't it? I used to live over there. That's probably the best sport I've ever played was over there. Sorry, I've got to drive now.
Okay, right then. You've left me. I've got a sort of ad lib tipping up your second selection while you. That no cola resolutions lasted a week. That's good.
Yeah. No, I'm doing well on that. I haven't done any exercise yet, but I haven't put any cola in my body.
Good. Right then, the second selection.
Trying to find a link then, and nor has probably Michael Sim. Michael Sim. I really want to test the Millington memory again.
I've never heard of him, so there's no point in saying, do you remember when he finished 8th in Portmarnock or something. Go on. No, go on. Fire away.
Okay, no, fair enough.
No, go on. Try me.
The 2010 Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines. It's one of your favourite tournaments. The Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines. A lot of people say the PGA Tour season doesn't start until the Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines. Michael Sim almost won that ruddy event. Lost by a shot to Ben Crane. Had a chance going out the last. Michael Sim used to be a stateside star. He won 4 times on the Corn Ferry Tour, what is now the Corn Ferry Tour, before that Torrey Pines attempt. He was a dominant force on what is now what is now the Corn Ferry Tour. Is it the Web.com Tour, Nationwide Tour? I can't remember what it was. He was brilliant on that. Everyone just assumed he was going to be a PGA Tour star, and he almost won straight away at Torrey Pines. But he couldn't sustain it. Fitness issues, form issues followed, couldn't sustain a stateside career. Been playing at home more since. He plays light schedules now, does a bit of coaching. He's taking his foot off the gas, but he's still blessed with that enormous talent. He's only 38. And he won the Queensland PGA Championship a couple of years ago. Both of his Australasian Tour wins have come in Queensland. He's based in Queensland now. He's been playing tidy golf. His last event just before Christmas. You look on the form guide, you see the Gippsland Super 6, and you see he's got a 9 next to his name in the Gippsland Super 6. But there's more to it than that. There's 3 rounds of stroke play in that tournament, and then a Sunday match play competition with the scores reset. So for those three rounds of stroke play, he won that tournament by 3 shots. Playing great, got knocked out early in the match play. But Michael Sim playing well, class act on his day.
So you'll be hoping the SIM card has very few bogeys on it, won't you?
I see why you're on a 7-figure salary.
I wish. Right then. What's that? Tea?
I've actually got a double water. I had such a dry mouth this morning. I've got a pint of water. I had a mug of water. This is that's the Don't Panic cup that Joff sent me. We mustn't forget Joff.
No, of course he mustn't. No, happy New Year to John Owen from Formby.
Yeah, don't panic. And I'm not panicking. I feel serene this year.
That's great news.
I just feel like I know things are going to go well.
That's brilliant. Excellent. Yeah. Third selection then, Steve.
Third selection and final selection at 40-1. Michael Sim is 20-1. Elvis Smiley's 35-1. Jordan Zunik is 40-1. Jordan Zunik's just turned 30. I've always liked this lad. He's a giant. He's 6'5" tall, huge talent. He got 3 wins on the Australasian Tour quite quickly. The last of them was the Queensland Open in 2018. He almost won this tournament, the Australian PGA Championship in 2017. Cameron Smith beat him in a playoff. And last time out in the aforementioned Gippsland Super 6, Zunik got to the final, and then he lost. He lost in a playoff. He's definitely good enough to win this. And he's 40-1, a surprisingly big price. So, I've got 3 sort of average price players to take on Min Woo Lee, who I just think, he could easily win. He's the most likely winner.
Will you be wistful if he does win?
Yeah, I will. Yeah. So, a lot of people will view this as an obvious chance. We're all desperate to get a winner at the start of the year, but I've got to be sensible. I can't play at that price. It's not.
No, you can't. I agree.
It's not a good price.
And if he wins, Steve, as well, you mustn't start going, oh, God, I knew I should have gone from. I knew I should. You go back to where you were pre-tournament. Your view is very clear on it. He can win, but you don't think he's value. And that's got to be thought right through the weekend.
That's it. No, that's the clarity.
Up by 14 shots.
That's. No, you're right. No, you are absolutely right. No, this is the serenity that I've programmed in this year. Just be patient. Wait for the opportunities to bat Min Woo Lee at a proper price.
This is great. It's like a new man. All that anger and all that erraticness has gone. It's so nice to hear you, Steve, on a level, on a nice kind of happy mental plateau.
Yeah, I feel really positive. You can't afford to be pessimistic these days. Life's too hard. Life's too important and too hard to be pessimistic. I've just let the pessimism go now. I finally worked it out. It all out now.
Marvellous. Excellent. Right then. So shall we reiterate?
I think we should. We got 3 tips in each event. Sony Open in Hawaii. Mark Leishman, Sung Jae Im, Brandon Wu.
And in the Australian PGA?
Elvis Smiley, Michael Sim, Jordan Zunik.
Okay, and we should say, obviously, that I think you need to have your Australian bets on before you go to sleep on Wednesday evening, I'd imagine.
Yeah, right?
In fact, actually, probably it might even be Wednesday kind of early evening if they're starting.
Yeah, I think it will be. Yeah, we're in Brisbane.
Don't dilly-dally with your bets.
I've seen sort of 8 p.m. starts on Wednesday night sometimes. I haven't checked that. I should have checked that. It's unprofessional of me not to have checked that yet. But yeah, just get the job done early.
Be serene.
No, safe.
Okay. Anything else exciting happening this week for you?
Well, I suppose I better get running. And I mean,
you should do couch to 5K.
I am going to do that. It winds me up. I had this discussion with a few people because they've said, well, and they always say, I just don't have the time yet. Well, you make time, don't you? You make time for it. That expression has sort of made me rebel against it. You can't make time. You can't grow time in your garden, can you? So the people that come on to me say, yeah, you make time. You make time. They're actually stopping me from starting this, so they need to stop saying that. You can't make time. I mean, what are they saying there? Well, I suppose what they're saying is you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, so that's how you make time. But
yeah, you do 8 hours work and then watch 8 hours of golf.
It's important, though, isn't it? It's important.
Could you not? I just don't watch a bit of golf for a while.
When do you do your?
It takes half an hour. I do mine in the morning. I'm not a fan of running later on in the day. In the morning, okay. I was down in Bath for the weekend, and yesterday morning I ran along the towpath of the canal. It was so calming. It was lovely. There was houseboats, lots of people living in them, and trails of smoke coming out of their log burners, and ducks and swans, and it was beautiful. Right. Honestly, it's really, really nice, Steve. You should definitely. I mean, I wouldn't say make time because that is nonsense. Yeah.
What time did you go do that? If you don't mind me asking.
I set out at 8 in the morning.
8 in the morning. Yeah. I think I'll have to go a bit early in that. But did you wear tights? It's very cold out there, isn't it?
I didn't wear tights. No.
I think I'll have to put the tights on like John Barnes used to do.
You do get male joggers who wear leggings, and I've got a big issue with that because some of them don't wear shorts, so they look like sort of Wayne Sleep, and I just don't think that's right. I just don't think that a man should have his bits sort of silhouetted like that. I think
that's a good point. You should slip a
pair of shorts on over the top, but. Yeah, give it a go. I think you'll enjoy it. It's nice. It's good therapeutic stuff for your soul. So let's see if you can get out and enjoy that.
Yeah, I'll ask the wife for a pair of her tights later. See how that goes. Quite kinky, isn't it? Quite kinky slipping into your wife's.
Don't wear tights.
It's just cold, isn't it? But I'm determined. I'll sort it out. Don't you worry.
Okay, mate. And what have we got next week?
We have got a triple header. I mean, with permission, we've got a triple header. I mean, I know my superiors get a bit frustrated when I suggest these tournaments that are not quite up to standard. But next week, you've got what is often a very, very good Asian tour event, the Singapore Open. Usually attracts a good player or two. I don't know whether that's going to be the case this year. You never know with the travel situation. But if the Singapore Open is a goer, we've got a triple header because we've got the Abu Dhabi Championship, the start of the DP World Tour, the resumption of the DP World Tour, and we've got the American Express. So we could have some each way.
Is that in Palm Beach?
No, it's California. Start of the West Coast swing. Yeah, we're in California there, aren't we? We could have some each way trebles next week, which I know that we all get really excited about that, don't we?
We certainly do. Okay, Steve, thank you very much. Thank you as ever for watching. Do please drop in your fancies in the comment section at the bottom of the YouTube stream, and if you nail the winner, we will give you a shout out. Are you a fan of the fact that YouTube now doesn't show how many thumbs downs you've got? I don't like it because our ratio of thumbs ups to thumbs downs was so good that I think taking the thumbs down facility away sort of diminishes the impact of that, if you know.
I suppose, but I was always having a few problems with it. I suppose with my new 2022 Steve, I could handle it. So maybe they need to bring it back, but I can see why they're doing it. The old be kind, you got to be kind, don't you? Isn't it? Anyone who puts a thumbs down is a bit unnecessary, isn't it?
I suppose so. All right then, Steve, thank you very much indeed. Like I say, thank you very much for watching. I hope you can join us next week for another sweet spot.